Howdy, and welcome back to this episode of Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. Today we've got a Frog English Electric Canberra. This is the PR.7 version, photo recon version of the famous Canberra bomber. This is a Frog kit that was produced in 1963 is this issue. The original issue of the kit was from 1955, and it's virtually identical to this one. The only difference is the code. This particular one is an F323. In the 1955 issue was a 323P, which I assume the P was probably for plastic when Frog was still making a lot of wood kits. So they designated this one being a plastic by putting the P at the end of the code. So let's get into this and see what we got. So we've got fairly simple artwork on the cover of the aircraft, and looks like supposed to be bare metal here. You got the Frog with the Frog logo, 72nd scale series, authentic scale models, molded in high impact polystyrene, modeled from official plans, kind of similar to what Revell would be saying with some of their kits, coming from official blueprints. All parts are interlocking, no shaping or sanding. Instructions and plans, colored decals, tube of special polystyrene cement. So this really sounds like, what was on the original 55 box was there to really show that this was not a wood kit. This is separate. This is plastic. And you've also got a clear plastic stand included. Look at the box end. There's your F323. 72nd scale rigid plastic scale model. Frog did make some like vacuum form type plastic kits, so I think that's why they're pointing out the rigid part on here. And then just simply Canberra. This end's a little bit different. It's got the information about the parent company for Frog, International Model Aircraft, which is a product of the Lyons brothers. Incidentally, when you see the other versions of Frog kits under the airlines, the Lyons came from their last name, Lyons. On the side, showing you some other kits in this series, Canberra, DH-110, which I think was the Vixen. You got the Javelin, full instructions and drawings, complete range of models, molded in high impact plastic. On the other side, some more information about the stand, which was pretty impressive for them, and 72nd scale series. So let's look inside. This is a pretty heavy box, so I'm expecting substantial kit inside. So the box top is just printed directly onto the cardboard, and it's stapled. It's supposed to be glued. Same thing with the box bottom. Box bottom is stapled. Here we got our instruction sheets. Fairly cheap paper that they were printed on. One-sided printing. And as we've seen with some other Israeli Frog kits, just an exploded view with the parts being called out by number. And then instructions on how to build it. Instructions on how to paint, a little bit of information about the aircraft here, as far as size, and then some of the other aircraft in the series, and some information on where to place some of the markings. So pretty simple, not much to this. And here we've got decals for the Canberra PR.7 with instructions how to apply the decals. So you got WH773. This is a specific aircraft. Actually ended up being the first production PR.7. And this had a first flight in 1953, 16th of August. Was assigned to 540 Squadron at RAF Whiten. Was transferred to 80 Squadron, then 82 Squadron, also at the same airbase. Then I ended up going over to Germany with 31 Squadron at RAF Larbruck. Got kicked to 80 Squadron again at the same place. Then eventually it made its way to Malta until it was finally struck off charge in 1981, becoming an instructional airframe, Geek Guardian, till it was finally sold off in 1990 to private hands, and it is still in existence. So I'll show you some photographs of this actual aircraft, both in service and its current state. So let's get into the model. So first off, got the stand sitting here. This is actually got a triangle stand on it, as opposed to frog, but you'd put the, looks like the decal for English Electric would go right on the front right there. That's where you're supposed to put it. And here we've got your fuselage pieces. Extremely simple kit. Very heavy pieces of plastic, very thick plastic. Lots of locator pins. So you're just basically getting just kind of the general outline of this aircraft, this general shape of it. Appears to be some warping of this. Got a molded in pilot figure, just a head sticking out. Opening for the bombardier position. As you can see, there is hardly any detail on it at all. You got a few raised panel lines, just barely representation of the rudder, and heavy rivet detail. I mean, these aren't just golf ball rivets, these are like softball rivets. Very, very large. There's some, looks like maybe representations of the windows for the photo recon, maybe down back here as well too. Extremely simple kit. Look at the wings. We're going to top and bottom. Also, if you notice, there's a circle for where you're supposed to put your roundel, both on the fuselage and the wings. And again, these wings are extremely simple. There's even an opening for the engine. It's just a flat with a little stump. Assuming this is for maybe drop tanks. Slot for the landing gear, but no landing gear bay. Hardly any representation for the ailerons. And again, some heavy rivets. Similar again for the other side wing. You get your tail plane. Just a very simple rendition. A little bit of flash on that piece. Most other pieces are pretty flash free. So the tail plane, one solid piece. Simple representation again. You've got the drop tanks. It'll go on the wings. Simple, really thick plastic. See why this kit weighs so much. And then one tree. It's got gear doors, front landing gear. Can't get any simpler than that. Here's your main gear, all molded as one piece. Heavy seam line, a little bit of flash. Just goes in that little slot on the bottom of the wing. Here's your canopy. It's just a simple bubble canopy. This was a frameless canopy on the original aircraft. So not much to show on there, but it is not the best molding. Pretty cloudy. Got the nose piece, where will be the bombardier, I guess, or navigator. And again, fairly thick piece of plastic. And then here's the vertical part of the stand. So that's it. That's all there is to this kit. Not a whole lot. But probably one of the first kits you could get, at least in plastic, of the Canberra. Canberra was a very popular plane, went into squadron service in 1951. And it's been a favorite of people around the world. It is a beautiful aircraft. Since it first flew. This aircraft was actually test flown by one of my favorite pilots, Roland Beamont, who flew it across the Atlantic to come and demonstrate it to the United States, to Martin Aircraft, who went and got the licensed production rights on this to be able to make what became the B-57. So that was a pretty impressive feat for the time, flying two aircraft across the Atlantic. So this kit was also issued under the Triang label in 1962. And it got one more issue from Frog in the freshened up, more modern Frog boxing style that kind of stuck around for a while in 1965. And then that was it for this particular mold. Frog did reissue, or did make another Canberra, a B9 version with the streamlined tandem cockpit kind of over to the port side of the aircraft, and that one was repopped plenty of times. That came out just before the end of Frog, and then of course those molds ended up going all around the world. But that is a completely different mold from this one. So that's about it for today. I'll be showing you some of the other boxes from the other issues of this particular mold. If you've built this kit or have any personal experience with Canberras, put that down in the comments. We'd like to hear what you guys have to say about this. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for dropping by, and have yourself a great day.